Hello, everybody. Welcome again to another edition of Let's Paint TV. I'm your host, Mr. Let's Paint. Thank you guys for coming in for another exciting edition of Let's Paint TV. Call numbers here are 818-528-4516, 818-528-4516. You want to call in and talk about creativity and whatever else may be on your mind. We may be able to entertain you on that, inform you, and help you out if it's possible. It may not be possible, and then henceforth we will not be able to help you out. But it's always worth a shot. It's worth a shot in the dark. 818-528-4516. I'm going to get a cup of coffee here, and we'll get started here in just a second. Thank you very much. Okay, we're back. Welcome again to another edition of Let's Paint TV. Monday, another week ahead. A lot of things are going to happen this coming week. I'm not really sure what, but we will probably tackle them as best we can, give it a best shot scenario. That is all we can really ask for in this general. Let me just fix this camera shut. Maybe it's a little lower. Okay, that was clearly wrong. That was a little higher. A little higher. Move the camera a little, just a tad bit. There you go. Okay. Maybe that's just a little bit off to the right here. Just kind of maybe zoom in. Maybe we can zoom in. There. Maybe that will work. Okay, now I just gotta raise it just a tad bit. Okay, and of course, let's just move that off to the right there. There. Okay, that should do it. Okay, so 818-528-4516. You're watching the daily program, Monday through Friday, Let's Paint TV, where we like to get you excited about painting, if possible. It may not be possible. Life is not always possible. Your existence, your ticket is not always punched with the creative possibilities. It's not self-determined, predetermined, dispositions. It is not always there. Sometimes you got to manufacture it. Sometimes you got to just push on, mush on, and that is where we are that's where we're headed. Once again, today, Monday. Feel free to call in. As you know, that is the number 818-528-4516. If you have trouble hearing me audibly, my linguistics being a little loose, not making any sense, the number should be there for you down below. Anyway, Monday. Let's start off the week with a little nightcap, huh? No, no. Let's not. Let's let's hold off on that. Let's just drink some coffee here and get going here. Unless, of course, you're coming into us from the we have some UK viewers. Maybe you do want to have a nightcap, or you're thinking about some various libations for taking on Monday, and regardless if it was successful or not, but you did take it on, and now you need to relax just a tad bit, and you have that definitely on your agenda, if it's in your mind, if it's now, is that predetermined? Is that predisposed? I don't know. What is there making that decision? Probably the same kind of definitely probably the same mind over matter, mind games, head games. Head games. Head game. Okay. Probably the same kind of scenarios that you need to go through with that aspect in terms of making decisions. But is it predetermined? Are you predetermined? Is it already already been decided what you're going to do? I think the verdict's out. I think that's why it's always interesting thing to always engage in the thought of that, or the thought of really anything, is the idea that possibly there is something to it. A lot of things, you could say that about pretty much everything. There is something to nothing. Nothing to nothing. Nothing is something, and that is really what you want to kind of keep in mind, that there probably could be something to nothing, something to something that has been put out there, as much as you might want to disprove or disengage or disassociate, discombobulate, decombobulate, disassociate, unassociate, uncouple, just a big separation of sorts. That's what we're kind of thinking of, and that is really one of those things that you want to just kind of go with, and go forward, as we do every day, Monday through Friday. If you notice that we're kind of changing the studio here a little bit, or I'm trying to, I suppose. So I got tired of the blue screen, but I have a little bit of it, just sort of echoes in the mind of the blue screen, which is kind of neat. I like, sort of. And so I think I want to do a little figuring more of that out, I suppose. And I want to fix this. Is this the camera shot here? Yeah. I think I'm going to put it up higher. Trying to recalibrate the situation here. We just got a couple people watching, it looks like. Thanks for watching the program. I do this for you, just for the two of you. As you know, you're very special people. Don't know who you are, but I have a sense I know who maybe one of you may be, which is good by me, fine by me, I mean, I'm happy that someone wants to be willing to watch this program every day. But believe me, if it worked, if you didn't want to watch this, sure, you don't really have to. I mean, what's the point? And I should be painting, I know. I mean, that's probably where I lose a lot of people. Hey, we got 4 people watching. Great, four people watching the program. Just kind of went crazy on that, which is great. I could not be any more excited. The idea that we've doubled our viewership here on the program. Don't forget, you can call in and ask questions. Try to keep your questions to a minimum, and try to, if you can, try to get off the line sooner than later, as we have a lot of callers coming in, and we just don't have time to listen to your whatever story or various conversations that you made. Oh, there's our first call of the day. What's your name? Hello, caller. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, it's Miles. Just calling from North Carolina. How you doing, buddy?
What's going on, Miles?
Not much. I just didn't catch the tail beginning of the show right at the very beginning.
Yeah, well, there was a lot there, and you might
probably missed like the heart of the entire premise.
You know, there kind of is. Now we actually blew our shot our load, and now we're just sort of on easy street for the rest of the program here today.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So the load has been shot.
Yes, we put the cannonballs in and we blew them up. We shot over the harbor, over the
right.
Yeah.
And did we hit the starboard side, or what did we end up getting, the deck, or what did we get?
Poop deck.
I'm joking. But anyway, I was just calling to, just saying, hey, listen, I'd like to catch the show more often than I do, but I have to work.
Yeah.
It just so happens my work schedule fit around your airing schedule.
Yeah, I know. We conveniently do this program at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, which is really a hard time for anyone to really watch the program, which is good.
And you want to know what? I don't know. I tell people at work, I tell people I meet, I say, hey, listen, have you heard of Mr. Let's Paint? You got to check out he's got a great channel on YouTube, and he goes Monday through Friday, 11 to 12 California time.
Yeah.
Of course, that's 2 to 3 here, so. Yeah, I tell lots of people. I just don't know what it is. They don't bother coming, or maybe they do come, and then maybe they're the ones that's like the number 3 or number 4 people there while I'm, I don't know, at work or whatever.
I suspect that the deal is that, and I would do the same. I would come in and go, well, what's going on? And then, there's a guy just sort of mumbling.
Well, that's kind of what I feel obligated at this point. Like I've told like 15, 20 people about it. Maybe they'll, if I'm there at the time, and maybe I call, and maybe they'll realize, hey, yeah, Miles is here.
The trick here, the trick is to get anyone to kind of excited by the. You're gonna have to you got to get it when I'm like at my optimum, which hasn't.
Well,
I gotta say,
you're optimum.
I don't know.
Not you're actually on the air.
I'm not really sure my optimum. I feel like I'm shortchanging people consistently, or at least or inconsistently, however you want to take that. And as such, I am certain that anyone who is of any interest or importance who tunes in basically tunes out just as quick. They're like, move on.
Well, I feel important. I feel important. You saying it that way, but no, I'm joking. But I think what it has to do with is, the time of day. A lot of people just.
Yeah.
I know it sounds kinky, but.
Well, there's a lot to be said about it. I
wish they would let me have my computer at work. I wish they would let me at least take my little tablet or my laptop or something. But
yeah.
We got a policy. It's like, I guess they've had problems with people at work spending too much time on the computer, so therefore you have to, do your little goose step or whatever. So.
Yeah, well, but that, they have the right to do that, of course, because they own you while you're at work.
Well, I mean,
they own your ass.
Now, if you think about what's
they
going on
own your ass,
Miles. Here in our own country. When you think about what's going on controversial here in our own country, I mean, would you rather comply with a rule relative to the money you're earning, or would you rather comply to a rule of a government, I dare say it this way, that he plans on taking until you have nothing left?
Well,
I mean, you have to really think at it logically. I mean, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I suppose I'm just going to agree, even though I wasn't even following your statement there.
Logic. You go earn.
Well, I didn't even know if it was logic. I just know that you were just saying something.
Most people in the history of America have not worked for the government. You realize that, right?
I don't know. I mean, I think
most people that have even come to America have not worked for the government.
I suppose so.
Like,
I mean,
from foreign land.
yeah, but what does that have to do with here today? Let's Paint TV creativity. You know, what's it?
Nothing. I'm saying probably all those people can probably have computers and access anything they want to from the workplace. But in the private sector, it's quite different. You know, they've got very strict rules.
Okay, so you're saying because
relative to the individual wanting to make a living, not
all right.
their entire life.
Okay, I understand. So the fact that Jack went up the hill but could not come down the hill without Jill, with Jim and Bobby and Sue, and a bucket of water and some caterpillars that will turn into butterflies.
If Jack goes up the hill to get a pail of water, it's probably because he needs a pail of water. It's just that he's not assuming that some entity is going to rape, let's say, Jill at the bottom of the hill while he's gone, and then prepare to seal his bucket when he gets down at the bottom of the hill.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, I think, yeah, the analogy here it's a good analogy, I think, and then this is exactly what the government's all about, and the difference between government and private industry. Jack goes up the hill, and because he goes and gets that bucket of water, he's industrialist. He does.
As crazy as it sounds, without his initiative to go get the pail of water, why would he need somebody to tell him not to go get the pail of water later? I guess that's how I perceive the government.
Yeah, so the government is that fly. It's a nano fly flying around that pail of water because there's some fecal matter in the whale, and so the flies are finding that as kind of.
So you're seeing it. No, I'm saying earning a living is not necessarily comparing our subsistence or our rules within our subsistence as being detrimental to our, dare I say, realities long term, unless we allow that to be the case. Of course, freedom was established to the contrary of that intention, of course, historically, you realize.
Well, au contraire.
America was distinctly not France.
Okay, Miles. Now, Jill is not going up the hill. She doesn't want to go up the hill because she knows that Jack went up the hill and he's going to take care of all the business, and she's just going to stay home and make some coffee and bake some biscuits for Jack when he comes back home.
Well, if they agree to that between the two of them, that simply is their relationship. That's not their subservience to one another as far as enslavement.
But if we're looking at it in a historical context, and introduce the Revolutionary War, 1776, I think we'll hit on a nail that would really manifest a whole cavernous activity of groundswell information that is just going to blow up conventional wisdom.
I would say if it doesn't conform to the conventional wisdom, I have no reason to express it even in my initial intention. Maybe I'm being misunderstood profoundly at this moment. I'm simply saying that in traditional America, most people have a job, they work, not so other people can tell them that they're not qualified indefinitely the rest of their lives because a certain group or entity has made that decision for that person. Of course, that person's freedom was based on their willingness to go work.
Okay, right? I guess you want me to say what is this? You got me on the stand.
No.
And you're trying to trick me to say yes or no. I mean,
No. I'm just getting you to realize that if the government doesn't tax the private sector, of course the government don't exist. So without the private sector, of course, the government has no function. And if we tax and regulate the government or the private sector out of business, I mean, what do you think, honestly, that's going to do to the government, sir?
Well,
let's not jiggle battle. Let's go.
I suppose there's always a point to be made, and I think the point that we're trying to point out here is that Jack and Jill love each other so much that regardless of all this malarkey of government and private industry and whatever sort of dictates that are encroaching into their private lives. Has nothing stops their love between Jack and Jill. The love of Jack and Jill is really paramount to true one's happiness.
That's sacred within their own intentions for one another. That's sacred already. I mean, there's not a subservience issue to that. That is sacred within their own relationship interpersonally, within each other's dreams that they share, within each other's goals that they share.
Exactly.
Yeah, and it doesn't really have that much to do with whether or not somebody's staring at them wondering why they're drinking water from a pail in the first place. That's their pail.
Well, this pales in comparison to the pale ale that I was drinking last night, which was quite nice. It was like an IPA with a sort of a blondish light body. Very nice beer.
You like the IPAs. You like the IPAs.
But they can be a little too syrupy. I got to be careful about the syrup. The syrup in the beer. They literally put chocolate syrup in these beers, and it's a little overwhelming. But that having said that, I will give it a shot. I'm always good for the experimentation. We like to point that out, to experiment and to explore the possibility. Am I hitting the mic?
Can you say hi? Can you just say hi to a friend of mine? I told him about you.
Okay.
Mr. Les Payne. You might have remembered me mentioning him to you.
Yeah, I can do a shout out. I'll do a shout out.
Say hi to my friend Derek. He's my next door neighbor. He's a good man.
Hey, what's up? What's up?
Let's get him on the line. Here, Derek, this is Mr. Les Payne.
Hey, what's going on, Derek?
Hello?
What's going on, Derek?
How you doing?
Hey, what's going on, man? What are you doing, man?
How's it out there?
Nice and sunny.
Hello?
Yeah, we're nice and sunny out here in California.
Okay. All right. Well, damn, man. I ain't never been out west. That'd be a dream come true to get out there.
Oh, okay. Well, it's nice. It's nice out here. I got to tell you, but I got to say it's nice everywhere. It's nice everywhere. If you got some trees to look at, and some sun, and some sky, and some clouds, and some rain, and some tornadoes, and some earthquakes, and some monsoonal tidal waves, tsunamis, it's all good. It's all good. It's all good everywhere.
Okay.
Yeah. One does not necessarily need to, but yeah, California's kind of nice. I gotta say it's nice.
Okay, well, Mr. Payne, it was nice to talking to you. Well, you take care, and
all right.
Hopefully one day I can visit California.
Very good. Very good. Very good.
All right.
All right, and one day I'll make it out to North Carolina.
Okay, man, you'll love it, man. You'll love it.
See, look at that. See, yeah.
Since Miles, I'll be sure y'all have a good time.
Well, I'm not so sure it would be the case, but based on our conversations that we have here at Let's Paint TV, there's a good chance that could be the case. But you never, you cannot judge an audio interaction voice call-in by its cover.
Okay. Well, hopefully everything pan out. Let's put it like that.
Very good. Yeah. I think a waffle maker would be a better choice. A waffle maker would be a better choice.
Okay. All right, Mr. Payne, have a nice day.
All right. Good talking to you, Derek.
Yeah, he's a nice man. He lives next door to me. We help each other out on occasion.
Very good. Very good.
So I don't want to keep you when you should have got other people listening and.
Yeah, we got a lot of Miles. We got a lot of other callers coming in. What's that?
Well, that's what I'm saying. You got a lot going on.
Yeah, we got a lot of calls coming in.
I think it really is that simple, though. I think it really is that simple. If Jack and Jill decide, they're going up the hill, that kind of is their decision. That's not somebody else's limit on that. And I think that's kind of a simple foundation of America.
Well, I'll give you the last word on that.
Well, I don't mean to sound old-fashioned, but I think that's pretty much why they wrote the Constitution, to assure that. So Jack and Jill could go up the hill to get the pail of water.
Very good. Good talking to you, Miles.
It always sounds mundane, but I'm pretty sure that's what all of the the first 11 amendments were about.
Okay. Well, with
Anyway,
that, Miles,
God bless
it's always a pleasure to talk to you. Even though I'm not really always certain what we're talking about, but it's fantastic duplicity.
Comes from a good place. It's all based on a place of love.
And I do feel the love. I do feel the love. Feeling the love from North Carolina and Miles and Derek. And
right,
hopefully
my
we're sending you love here from California.
And again, God's blessing stay with you and all those you love, and I look forward to talking to you next time we speak, sir.
All right. There you go. Miles,
Okay.
North Carolina. Take care, buddy.
Okay, stay well, sir.
All right.
Bye-bye.
All right, there goes Miles and Derek from lovely North Carolina. I've never been to North Carolina, actually. I've never been to the Carolinas, south or north. And I guess that's it. I flew into Georgia, Atlanta as a little kid, and I was at the airport. Does that count for being in Atlanta, Georgia? I guess it could. I mean, I breathed the airport air of some sort, and I might have even used the bathrooms, which would really give I think that would give precedence. If you want to, put a map of all the places you've been to, and you want to count your flying into just an airport as true, as validation that you actually were in that state or city. I think if you went and used the bathroom and actually left off some of your bodily fluids. I may not have used the bathrooms, but I probably picked my nose and I picked and flicked. There's no doubt. There's a little booger at the Atlanta International Airport. I don't even, what do they call that? The ATL airport. They probably name it after somebody. Probably like the mayor, Andrew Young International Airport. I'll tell you what, if they haven't named it after him, they should. But I don't really know. 818-528-4516. So a lot of love. One of these days I'm going to make it out there. Maybe we'll do a tour of some sort. I'm kind of itching for a tour. The tour itch is definitely coming on strong. And what I like about the define gravity, define one's physical self as such. I have deep down or a confession to tell you, and that is that I get this feeling if I were not doing this, if I was not doing this with you guys each and every day, Monday through Friday, or doing some of the other lovely things that I get to do, I would just be a big blob. I would be a big nothing, a zero, and just sort of decompose. Literally, I would be literally a banana in a compost pile. I mean, literally just waiting to be eaten alive by everything. So this is really, we're just fighting. This is all, life is just fight. But it's a good fight. It's a good fight. And fighting doesn't have to be a bad, maybe one shouldn't think of surviving as some sort of fight. But if you treat it as sort of get some positive thought patterns in it, and it's not really ultimately doing you any harm or others, then why not? Why not? I tell you what, I think you're better off. Just in the head, one is when you have something to fight for. But I'm using the word fight as a different. I'm not obviously I'm not using it in the sense of say blowing things up and killing people and beating people up and smacking people in the face and stuff like that. There's not Three Stooges material going on here. No, I'm just saying it's sort of the fight. It's a constant fight, people. in the head, in one's head, and it's fighting to get over on oneself, from falling down. It's a constant battle at times, but I'm telling you, it's a good battle. You got to look at it as a good battle, and that keeps you in the game. Otherwise, you will not. Well, if you look at it, everything is about looking at it at the right the right way. Ultimately, everything is just that. I think something happened here. I got a little vibration of some sort. Okay, I don't know what you're sending me here. Okay, so anyway, 818-528-4516. If you want to leave some messages here in the chat room, please do. I don't think we have one yet as of yet. Let me just double check. Sometimes my chat thing doesn't work, but yeah, no chats at the moment. But feel free to chat away, and also feel free to call us here. And does this somehow touch well, maybe not touch, but I mean, does this sort of tickle your fancy? The possibilities that one sometimes engages in and has to reshape at times, repurpose. What is that? What is that for you? And I'm just gonna, this is a sort of a potentially telling response on your part. What that response is, what is your answer? It would be very telling. Basically, what I'm trying to say. To so many factors, but if we can somehow grapple with really who you are and who I am and all that stuff, we can probably snap out of our comatose state that we all find ourselves in terms of hey, we got a chat. Frop, tell us about Cinco Sanders. Cinco Sanders is the great grandson of Colonel Sanders. That's right. KFC. So this is what we're talking about here is the gumption, one's gumption to say, to turn away from the overstated, polished, over promoted, over emphasized. All right, enough overs. Overpass. Turn away from that. Turn away from all the nonsense that is thrown at you. You don't need to join all the crap that's out there. Turn away. Brown eyes. Turn your ass and get out of there. You don't need to join the 400 club, my friends. You don't need to join anything. You don't need to join the gym. You don't need to be like everybody else. You don't need to feel better by doing what everyone else is doing, because it won't really work always. Though it could, and it does. But for some of us, we need to get away from that nonsense and feel better about ourselves by being different. That's what it is. Just somehow try to be a little different if you can, if it's possible. I know it's hard. It is. Maybe we're asking for the impossible. Maybe the impossible is and we're striving here at Let's Paint TV to just try to do everything wrong and different at the same time. and have some sort of validity or gumption about it. But I think at least it's living proof that one could really lay your virtues out on a on the clothesline of life by doing just that. As long as you're committed, and whatever it is you're committed to, feel good about it if you can. But here's the problem is that if you question it, and I question this, I'm questioning what I'm always doing and being in my existence and why bother kind of stuff, and yet I guess one kind of, and I'll tell you what, so I question this. However, and I am definitely out of line, out of place, out of sanctimony with others, and that can be kind of hard to grapple with a little bit because you're not part of the club, or you have a limited club. It is, but you got to remember there's other people who are sort of thinking the same. You gotta remember that there's some people kind of questioning that too, so turn away, brown eyes, turn away from all the nonsense. And there's other people that will, but then I guess the question too then is that, well, does that then become sort of successful or the thoughts, the ideas of kind of breaking past or getting away from I guess popular culture, if you will. Many things tend to lead us to that statement of sorts. By doing that, there's sort of a grouping of people that kind of get into that idea, and then that becomes a segment of society, one can never really be truly individual, can you? You really can't. You can't really pull it off, can you? I thought you were doing a project with them. Maybe not. Well, you thought right or you thought wrong. I mean, what is there to say about it? It is what it is. Life, my friends, is what it can be. Life is what you do with it. Does that sound pretty? Sound pretty corny. That sounded like your typical canned statement from a motivational speaker, and believe me, I regret even saying it, but at least I was aware of that. And there's these just having these various modes of sentence structures that are conveniently spewed out from various people as positive indicators. There's not necessarily anything wrong with them. In fact, they're quite valid. There's and the thing is, a lot of stuff is out there that is quite valid. But I think we all tend to take it to heart too much. We're taking stuff way too serious. It just, come on, man. Come on, ma'am. Come on, man. Come on, ma'am. We can just go with the flow a little more often. I think that would be better off and the thing is, we do it anyway. That's you're not learning anything here or discovering anything new here. You're just existing with Mr. Let's Paint, which is fun. I like it. I'm not going to browbeat you. Well, maybe I do. And I do have some big eyebrows, so I guess I am on some levels browbeating you. But that doesn't really it pales in comparison to the overall formula or mantra of Let's Paint TV, or pales, or it may be. There's definitely enough hijinks and innuendos. I like that word, innuendos. That really throws you off the course of some sort of conventional thought. And by all means, we're not interested in the conventional thought. You want conventional thought, you want conventional wisdom, you came to the wrong place. Now we sprinkle it. We do a lot of sprinkling of all different matters, but we ultimately are trying to give you freedom. We're trying to offer freedom to your mind, to your existence, by the various processes that we sometimes like to. And this is all planned out. Everything we do here has been worked through at our labs, at the Let's Paint TV labs. And we use rats, and mostly rats, and sometimes we use some mice and raccoons, and we do all the testing with them under the guidance of the SPCA. So don't get down on me here by us using rats and mice and raccoons and possums. But because we have the anointment of the anointing of the SPCA, the support. They're conducting the test on the Let's Paint TV labs, the labs. So this is all everything we dispense here is of utmost importance. And thoroughly thought out. I just want to tell you that we think hard and long about what we do here. In fact, I'm thinking right now. Okay, 818-528-4516. You got a lot of questions. If we tickled your fancy, have we scratched your brain? If possible, we'd love to hear from you on the program. 818-528-4516. Ideally, this program's about the creative process, and hopefully we at least scratched the surface, or at least jackhammered the surface of about 10 feet of cement, solid cement, and that's about as dense as your head, your brain is, to get to your senses, the creative senses. Sometimes, we give up on the creativity so much, my friends, and yet it's there. It is there to be had, but sometimes we need to jackhammer the hell out of your head to get there. Now, I'm not talking lobotomy. I'm not talking that's not what it's. That's not. Look, this is all thought thinking. It's using our thinking caps and being willing to accept that there's some weird stuff out there that maybe may or may not we may not or have no control kind of stuff. Or ultimately, we never are going to have full-on control of our lives as much as we want to have control, and that's where we fall down. That's usually the danger zone, is when you're at that spot, and we don't know when that happens because we can't always plan for it. Maybe it's preordained, pre-planned. Maybe it was already in the stars. But you don't know when it's really going to come down and hit you over the head. and how you handle it can be very telling, and can be it is sort of your valedictorian speech of sorts. I mean, it is you're really on stage at that moment when weird shit happens or occurs in life, and how one handles that. I don't know. Does your hopefully, I guess that's that fight or flight thing, and can you handle it? Can you handle it? I like to think that with the incorporation of some of the parameters or parables, fables of some of the edicts here at Let's Paint TV, if you have some of these, and I guarantee you, if you can incorporate some of this baggage that we put forth, some of this spew of nonsense that may or may not have any importance in your life, if you can just keep some of that in your back pocket, and you, my friends, will be able to handle some of the difficult aspects of life that come down the road. That's all we're saying. That's all I'm trying to say to you. That's what it's about. You know, it's not always about the linear line. As much as we want to have things lined up, ducks lined up in order. I got my ducks lined up in order. You know, sometimes these ducks decide to cross the road, and your ducks aren't lined up in order. There's a wrench that got thrown in there. Then what are you going to do? What are you going to do now? And I think that's where really everyone falls down, or a lot of people fall down. I'm not saying everyone does. Most people have the capable coping mechanisms, the coping saw mechanisms. Most people have that. We all have it. But we don't necessarily use it to our best means, our best case scenarios. But then what is a best case scenario? You know what? And again, failure can be ultimately, without your knowing, can be your best case scenario. That might be the best thing that actually really is the case for you. Your failure. So what am I trying to tell you? What I'm trying to tell you is that I'm just trying to get through this hour making some sense or making no sense, but at least entertain you. Ultimately, that's the goal here at Let's Paint TV. Just somehow entertain you. I don't know. I mean, maybe that doesn't really. Maybe that's not capable. Not capable of that possibility. But at least we're talking through it. We're talking through it. I guess we're trying to work ourselves out of into a foam, into a lather, or at least I am. Well, I hope you somehow got something out of this. Honestly, I'd like to see you all benefit from this kind of nonsense, if you will, or informative nonsense. I guess that's what probably would it be, informative nonsense. But If not, and you just treat it as such, as a nonsensical eulogy, then that's good too. That believe me, I'm not upset, or I'm not going to get down on myself for how it's perceived, how what my creative output, how it's perceived. I'm at least I'm going to try not to. Hey, let's take this call here. Another call on the program. Hello, caller. You're on Let's Paint TV. Hi.
Hi, Mr. Paint. It's Josh in San Francisco. I called you on Friday last time.
Okay. Hey, what's up, Josh?
Different on Sundays.
What's going on, Josh?
Are you looking? Are you looking for something? You look like you're looking for something. Is this like different on Mondays or?
It's there's no real. This is just an ongoing experiment every day. We don't know what we're doing. Sometimes we have ideas, plans, agendas, but more times than not, it's just me waking up and drinking coffee and talking nonsense.
All right. I just thought maybe it was a different vibe in general on Mondays. Last time I checked it out was Fridays.
What was I doing
Friday.
on? What was I doing on Friday? I wasn't really sure. What was it? Was
A lot. It was really it was a bustling creative force.
Okay.
And
So
today, you look as if you're looking for it's like a Monday vibe. Maybe.
well, it is Monday. There's no doubt about it. Today is Monday, and sometimes it does take a little bit to get into the into some like full-fledged creative nutshell. But if you've been watching the program and just sort of, I always like to think if even if we do show up with nothing and visibly do nothing, there is still something to gleam from it, something to a nugget of possibilities that one could be dispensed onto your paradigm.
Yeah, it could help. It could help a lot of people.
Well,
It could help a lot of people. I'm actually in the throes of going into a new phase of some creative work I'm doing that is based on the director's notes. I have to change everything, and I thought I was done.
Yeah,
I'm
well,
a bit retarded as a media professional. I guess what you'd call a retardist.
look,
I'm a little bit
hey,
like...
I can't help you out on terms of like working with others who are trying to dictate their creative input onto you so that you do what they are supposed to be doing nonsense. I'm not really I don't talk about that because I think that's a frustrating experience, and I think that I'm getting that from you right now. But you can still find your own breathing space, in this process. At least I would assume you have to. One does. Otherwise, you go crazy. So the trick here is not to go crazy. But if you do, get some exercise in and find your own creative time to let it out in a potentially positive or unharmful way. And usually exercise and painting or something creative like that, and maybe cooking some fun, just the diversion of sorts.
Yeah.
Is
But it's not just a diversion though. It's a harnessing, and it's a transmuting, because if you get those endorphins, it gives you something that you don't get when you just sit on your ass and like just try to make it happen out of your brain, like squeezing it, trying to juice it.
Yeah. I mean, look, sometimes you can get too much of something, and I'm definitely a candidate of probably too much creativity potentially because I live in a sea of creativity. But I got to tell you, it doesn't really ever let me down in the sense of it's always there for me, and it's always my saving grace.
I'm sure it probably is for a lot of people too.
Well, it really is. But
Or,
here's my battle, or my conviction, or my philosophy, or my my battle of sorts. My thinking here is that a lot of us quit too soon on that vessel of creativity. We quit too early because we are confused, and Lord knows I am confused. But at least I know to keep going, and a lot of us get confused.
But
and
confusion can be good, because if you're
Of
clear
course.
all the time, you never see the fogginess of the
no,
outlines.
no, confusion is plenty. There's nothing wrong with it, but you just need to know to keep going with whatever it is, and be willing to just kind of, take a exit stage left, instead of stage right, be and fail and just fuck up and laugh about it.
I was going to ask you about.
Fuck up and laugh.
I was ask you about that. Fail.
Yeah.
So how does fail fit in when you're dealing with other people's kind of?
Well, that's the.
I know you're saying it's all
the catch-22,
Creatively.
No, that's the catch. It's the. Well, I'll tell you. But you can at least within the parameters. You at least possibly can keep that failure within maybe to yourself potentially, but also I think the failure idea here when you're working with others maybe. Now I'm just sort of imagining it because I don't work with anyone, as you can see, or I generally don't, but I do at times, and so and I think where you can incorporate the failure now when you're working with other people who might be ahead of you in terms of being your boss, and so you have to kind of do what they want you to do, but. So you sort of have to kind of maybe separate yourself, I guess, and say, okay, I'm going to do, basically whatever they're supposed to tell me I'm supposed to do. But within that confines, there can be a place somewhere where you can kind of fuck it up without really fucking it up. But but it can be still a positive fuck up. What is that? I don't know. I mean.
I guess the idea, maybe you're saying the idea is to keep going, keep proceeding.
Yeah, keep going.
The
and
perceived fuck up or failure, just to proceed and keep getting up and doing more.
Yeah, exactly. So okay, so the guy gave you revisions on whatever you were supposed to do, and it's really his baby and whatever, and you're just a helper guy, or you're somehow collaborating, but ultimately it's not your name on the
Animation.
What's that? Animation.
Animation.
Okay.
I don't really consider myself exactly an animator, but I am making some graphics moves.
Yeah, well,
so I guess that is animation.
Well, you're clearly a creative soul. You're a creative human being, and you can do a lot of different things. You're a jack of all trades. Jack went up the hill, and Jill was down the hill waiting for Jack to come back with the pail of water. That had fecal matter from the confessional. Did you see that story?
The question is, did they fall down the hill or did they roll down the hill?
I don't know, man. I just
down the hill. It could have been a fail.
I didn't even know. I was just talking to Miles. I was just making shit up as I'm doing right now. But so I don't even know. I don't even know what happened there. I was just bullshitting. But I'm not really bullshitting here with you. I'm trying to help you out. So within that realm of dealing, the failure is just like, don't be afraid to make mistakes, I guess is the idea here.
Yeah.
So the guy gave you revision. So hack away at it, and it's. I guess that's the idea. I don't know. It's a tricky thing when you work, trying to work with others. It's not always the best. There can be some things that, it's sort of working with commissions is sort of, you're in that realm. We've talked about that. Doing commissions is sort of what you're doing right now. And, that's not always the best deal. Really not the best. But there can be some wonderful things done from that process. There are plenty of examples of great works of art that were really, basically commissions. but a lot of them are generally.
Right, but when you take commission, that kind of implies payment, and this is not a payment situation. It's more of a volunteering. So I am clearly doing it for me.
Okay, well, good. Well, then you got more.
Comes out of it. I am clearly doing it for me.
Well, then you got even more. You got more leverage then because you're not getting paid, you know, and you're not, you know. I would think. So you can screw it up.
There are real deadlines. There are real deadlines to be had.
Well, fine.
Hurdles.
Then go through those hurdles, but you do have a little more leverage in terms of fucking things up. I would think. Because you're not getting paid.
Yeah, well, it's definitely an amateur kind of a situation with people that are doing it.
Then have
I'm
more.
I'm trying to use it as kind of a sandbox before I come down there and get some real beatings.
All right, but anyway,
experience it down south.
You know, the idea of like choking, you know, where people take their idea or whatever they're supposed to do and they just get so wrapped up in about perfectionism, right? And
Right.
see. People choke when that happens. They get too safe. You see, so
Is that how you? Can I ask you? I don't know. I keep referencing these guys, and I'm sorry if it bothers you, but is that how you connected with Tim and what's his name when you did the Verde show? Is that did you connect with those guys? Did you have that same kind of vibe about making things and having them come out in any which way but loose kind of thing? Because that's the way they make it look anyway. I don't know if they really do it that way, but
honestly, I gotta tell you, I don't really know the people I don't know those guys. I met them, and that's about it.
Yeah.
But their aesthetic, there's a similar.
Vibe, right?
There's definitely a similar aesthetic of some sort. Yeah. Just in many cases, it's but I wouldn't say that they feel that way. But this is how I feel, and that is, be a little looser with it. You know, it's like, you know, I don't know if you watch sports. I kind of do and I don't, but you know, there's a lot of problems when people get really.
I'm not really a ballman myself.
What's that?
I'm not really a ballman myself.
A ball man, I like that. A ball man. I never heard that term. I never heard that term, but that's great. But in sports, teams can play it safe too much, and then they end up losing because they lose the flow. So sports is good for those kind of metaphors in terms of how things work, in terms of relationships with humans and stuff. That's what happens a lot of times. People play it too safe, or they do things too conventional, and then boom. People just, you know, creatively walk around them, you know, like, well, famously the Statue of Liberty play. You've heard of that one?
Oh, cool. The Statue of Liberty play?
Yeah. There's a famous. It's a famous football play.
That's like a Hail Mary or something?
No, but that's another one. But so the Statue of Liberty play is somehow they do they fake like they're gonna throw it. And then I guess they hand it to somebody. I forget how actually it works, but it's got a great name. But it was a creative move, and so even in sports, and of course, sadly, in war, creativity actually can win the day in many cases. In fact, did you see that stuff about the CIA using artists to fuck with the minds of the Germans somehow? There was like there's some whole CIA thing where they used modern abstract art.
They probably did that based on some kind of a profiling of Hitler, because you know he was a failed artist, right?
He was a failed uptight artist.
Not endorsing it in any way or anything, bad man. But I'm just saying he was a failed artist, so maybe they figured if they do some art stuff, they could really get under his skin because he felt like he saw it as an artist. I'm bad at reading or thoroughly reading any of these articles that are out there, but there's a whole story about that, and I think you're right. That probably was the case because he's the classic example of an artist, a failed artist that I don't know. Sometimes people say that he was still an artist, you know, and maybe. But it was clearly a fucked up move that he did. Anyway,
but in the sense that he was a failed artist because he couldn't get into art school, and he had these little piss poor architectural landscape paintings of little landscapes and villages and stuff. And see, that's what I'm always trying to point. And I mean, I'm not pointing his story, but the perfectionism that people have, and then they try to get that in other people, is that's bad. I'm fighting against that. That's sort of my flag. That's the flag that that's my false flag that I put out there. What the false?
Yeah. Do you think just production, because when you're painting and stuff, you produce so much. You think like producing a lot is like part of getting to a place where you can just have that flow, where you can just produce.
Yeah, well, there's that element.
Like you have to be a certain way
No,
about it.
that can be the case for sure.
If you aim, like I kind of thought maybe if I aimed to just produce some shit, like some crap, and I was just like, I'm just gonna make something. I don't care if it's crap. I'm gonna keep making it. But then do you end up like honing your crap skills? You know what I mean?
Well, I think it's a half a dozen this, half a dozen that. There's no right answer here. There really isn't.
Yeah.
You just and there's a lot to be said about actually going to the trouble and educate yourself on how to do things even right, or take classes and take them from an asshole teacher that's really a stickler, kind of a Hitler approach to teaching the particular art form that you're trying to learn. And you learn quite a bit from that. I got a D minus or a D plus from a class once, and the guy was an asshole. He hated me, I hated him, but I learned something from him.
Yeah.
It's a combination of so many things. It's just more life experiences, a lot of life experiences, and so take many art classes and from many professors. Don't just follow one person either. That is, you hear artists. That's usually a sign of a bad artist. I'll tell you right now, and that is when they say I was apprenticing under so and so, or I studied under. That's a warning right there. That's a warning sign that you are a lame ass artist. I'm just pointing it out there. You don't want to follow one person. You want to have lots of ideas and lots of information to feed through you, and then you become your own self from the various entities of influence. But don't get influenced by one person.
Is that what they say when they mean finding your voice?
Yeah, find your own damn voice. Fuck that. I was apprentice under so-and-so, and I'm just following whatever they fucking did. And then I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of my mindset on top of that. Well, can you imagine that? Okay, so you take your own personal life, and then you just add it to somebody that you apprenticed or you loved and you followed so much. How limiting is that? You just limited yourself to one influence. You want to have lots of influences, and then maybe obviously pick and choose. But deep down, the influence that you actually hate, or the teacher that you actually hate, actually finds its way in that influence, which is amazing. As I point out, my teacher that gave me the D plus or a D minus, I to this day use some of the skills that I learned in that class, even though I really kind of despise the guy.
So maybe the creative energy is kind of activated or inspired by the conflict.
It's
following.
Some of the greatest artwork was done, at least in contemporary art, and maybe forever, is based on human conflicts. World War I and World War II, some great art comes out of that. So let's have another war, or we are in a war, right? We're in a war right now, right? Are we still at war?
We are. We got the internal strife too. We got this looming potential serious another Great Depression coming up or something.
Oh, is that the case? I don't
craziness.
know. I'm not sure that that's going to happen.
Who knows?
I hope not. But
Well, it's tomorrow.
Oh,
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow's the day.
We'll see. Tomorrow's the day, and it's just we're careening over the edge, but we'll see. I think they should do some painting. You know what I mean? They could really kind of benefit from some creative thinking in this process.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Well, I guess
Anyway.
I'm telling you, you got to kick the can down the road. No government is never has their books lined up. And what government was that? Famously, it was Mussolini and Hitler, right? Apparently, you know, those guys had their governments lined up pretty good, and they were killing people right and left, and you know, you're in our way, we'll run over you, kind of crap. You know, government is more of an amoeba.
That's the dark side of perfectionism right there.
Society, yeah, exactly. Exactly. Society is more life, is a living organism, and things he cannot control life. Governments and companies and people cannot control life. Now, I don't know about how you know, the advent of the computer and technology and all that. Maybe. You know, who knows? Maybe one could.
I think it's the new promise of what modernism was trying to do. You know, like sort of back in the 60s, where it was everything was going to be technology is going to save the day. It's happening all over again. That's happening with little phones, a little screen, and apps that you push a button and it does everything. That's the new promise of the new modernism.
I don't know. I don't know. I think there'll be a backlash. There's bound to be some sort of backlash. It's a give and take, but who knows? Who knows what's going down? I don't really know. All right. Well, hey, thanks for calling, Josh. Right?
Hey, man. Yeah.
All right, man.
Thanks, Mr. Pete.
All right. Talk to you soon.
All right. Take it easy.
All right. Well, everybody, we had a nice time talking to you about whatever the hell we were talking about, a little of this and a little of that. And with that in mind, my time is up. We ran a little overtime. Thanks again for being here. I appreciate you coming in, and we'll see you again tomorrow on this channel, 11 to 12 noon Pacific Standard Time. Bye-bye.